So I was trying to think of a way to read us in, but Stefan just told me that they're thawing out the 27 Club to start advertising for the 27 pounds of macaroni and cheese. They're going to start using Break On Through to the Other Side to start advertising 27 pounds of mac. How long do you say it's supposed to live? Or last?
Live is a true statement, though. 20 years.
I feel
20
like
years of macaroni.
I feel like if you start eating that at 7, you yourself can join the 27 Club. It'd fucking kill you by that time.
Yeah, so the story is that Costco is now selling 27-pound tubs of macaroni and cheese that last 20 years. At, guess the price tag.
Shit. $2,000.
$2,000? No. No, it's $89.99.
That's not bad.
No, it's really not. For
Where
20,
the fuck you can keep that, though?
I feel like
It's supposed to last 20 years?
it's... That's a good question.
Like rice...
Is it just dry?
Yeah. Like brown rice will spoil after 6.
Yeah, it's just dry. You go into the cupboard like it's a thing of dog food. You just scoop out what you want in a container and cook it up.
A fucking foul human being. Just keep it in a fucking dog food dispenser like the dog you are. Well,
That's we got this is the picture of Chef's Banquet.
I'm not used to my new controls here.
Cheese and
Jesus, it's like one of those Rapture survival buckets that
yeah,
they're selling.
that's what I was reminded of. But
What is it, Velveeta or is it powdered?
you're asking the real questions. I don't know.
You know, at that price, I might.
Here's a cringy statement in this article though. At $89.99, you get 180 servings of Chef's Banquet macaroni and cheese, which the company says will remain edible for up to 20 years. That remains, you could still be enjoying this macaroni and cheese during President Ocasio-Cortez's second term.
I suppose it only takes 15 years till she's at the eligible age. Or what is the eligible age? 35?
I thought it was 32-ish.
Oh,
I might be wrong. I don't know the government that well.
35 or 45.
I'm not going to pretend like I do.
Just got this discussion going on to lovely giant pictures of macaroni and cheese just being
Scooped up, yeah. That is the...
Previous guest, Ryan Oswald, our first guest ever, he professed to me one time I was like stirring some macaroni and cheese like while they were here.
It's like it sounds like a good fap.
He's just like, I fucking love that sound. It just looks like you're mushing through brains, man.
So those of you that aren't watching, we have a brand new setup.
Yep.
And it's sweet. We're in recliners.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. I'm going to resist the urge to just be a total fucking piece of shit and just be like, Frump.
It's going to happen.
But yes, we're not just torsos with arms and heads. We have bodies.
Yeah,
Surprise.
there's actually just a cat right next to me chilling.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to like push the boundaries of where they can and can't be. They haven't really figured it out with this chair. So I just got this chair, and they were just like, smells new, smells weird, smells like somebody else's kids.
Speaking of boundaries.
Dude, I swear to God, when I went to pick this up, there's just there's like family with 3 kids, fucking crazy baby with a diaper, only a diaper on, just fucking running around the house. They look exhausted, and they're just like, here it is, man. $150. And I'm like, can I sit on it? I'm like, yeah.
So just pumped down right there?
Yep. They had like taken it apart because like the back comes off, but I was like, I kind of want to see if it's solid before I take it. And they're like, all right, we'll put it back on. I just like sit on it. I was like, yeah, this is a good deal. And the cash took about like, I don't know, 3 minutes total. It was like in and out.
You had to move it though, right?
Yeah. But it was easy. This thing's like light as hell.
Really? It looks like
it
would be pretty heavy.
I had a fucking dolly and everything, man. I was good to go.
Really?
Yep. But who wants to hear about my goddamn...
Yeah, actually, we were talking about boundaries, and Bob and Brian, local desk jockeys from our area, were at my work on Thursday.
Yeah, and how did that go? Much anticipated. Did you get big fat fuck on the Bluetooth speaker?
No,
Weren't close enough.
No, they were right next to me.
Oh shit!
So it was how their audio setup was. So they had some interns, assumingly, come in the day before and set up like their audio setup. Mm-hmm. They set up 2 big ass PA speakers, turned them to face themselves so they'd only be able to like pick up their own sound and broadcast it throughout the factory. Like my little Bluetooth speaker didn't stand a fucking chance.
You should have just like snuck in there and like put an input.
They had a security guy.
Oh, really?
One of our security guys was there, like making, because you have to be escorted in our facility, and he was like making sure they didn't really like go anywhere.
Celebrities are here today, guys.
And they set them up right next to the bathroom so they couldn't really like wander, you know? Like,
here, you guys are older. Here's your place. You could take your shits every 20 minutes.
Yeah. It was, I've listened to Bob and Brian for a long time, but they're older now, and it gets a little too political. Like they were talking about like Trump's wall and shit, and like how we need Trump's wall, and I'm just like, that
was the fucking morning. I like was like listening to that for a little bit because, no, that was Wednesday.
And they were like,
they were talking about the fucking like Trump address and shit, which by the way was fucking pathetic. And then, but they immediately go to, but the Democrats.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh my God.
Come on, man.
Can you guys hear yourselves?
Did they have headphones on?
Yep.
Then yes, they can hear themselves.
And it was just, it was loud and obnoxious. And then the best part was all these people would come from the offices and just like stand around, and a couple would come out and have like loud conversations, just like, yeah, it's like I'm doing so much stuff around here, like, you know, like by the booth, like to try and sound important. It's like, I'm doing so much stuff around here. It's like so hard to get stuff done in this building, like, you know,
while
trying
they're
to
just standing around.
trying to like vent their problems and hopefully get it on air or something. It's like, you guys are fucking pathetic.
Oh my God. Let's see this guy. Let me get this picture up here.
And then there was just
B&B.
There was a continuous breathing gaggle of just mouth breathing people that would come by and just mouth agape, just like standing there.
That's Bob and Brian. That's Bob and Brian. I know who they are. Listen to them. Oh my God, it's Bob and Brian.
I'm sitting there one section away from them, trying to get my work done while just this continuous swath of people is coming through and doing this and that, and
oh my God, it's Bob and Brian.
And every now and then I look over and I'm like, you guys' life is misery right now, and I can tell in your faces that you're not actually enjoying this.
Well, of course not. They have to fucking like go someplace.
Yeah, and
they had to pack up their shit, go from their like nice studio to some fucking factory in the middle of the hood,
and get set up in folding chairs and like fold out tables. It was really sad.
And Brian's a big boy.
He is.
Yeah, he's a big ol'. He's a big one.
It's just having literally listened to them since 1029 The Hog was Laser 103.
Laser 103.
So they've been on the air for 20 plus years, and I've been listening to it. I used to listen to it with my dad all the time.
Yeah, that was my first experience, was listening to one of their best of cuts when they'd be off on the weekend. The first one I had listened to was when they got their hands on one of those leapfrog things, and it was like the hot toy to get your toddler at the time. And they were like, okay, let's check this thing out. And they were checking out like this world map thing, and you could listen to like songs from around the world. And it was like Macedonia. And they were like, come to Macedonia fest, here fest of one hit song.
I liked the vacation horror stories. They used to do stories.
Oh, I love the Christmas ones too.
Yeah, they'd have vacation horror stories, Christmas horror stories, construction horror stories of just awful stuff happening, from people's balls getting ripped off to slipping off the roof, you know.
They just did all the holiday
Christmas
ones.
vacation style.
It's like part having that like ability to source like the people, and then like go through and like cherry pick the best stuff. But then it's also Brian's delivery of them. He's great at reading those.
But I'm not tuning in regularly, but I'm forced to. I don't hear a lot of that stuff, and it's just changed over time, or maybe I've changed and they've remained the same.
No, Stefan, it's the children who are wrong.
But it was awful. It was loud, obnoxious. I couldn't hear myself think over the PA speakers.
Nobody seems like they were happy, except like the fuck-offs.
It was all the office people that, the couple that set it up, because basically our company is hiring more people. So they used it as like a PR thing. Mm-hmm. So a couple of like the VPs and HR were just like, yeah, Bob and Brian's here. This is great for promotions. And then they're also advertising that they're going to have my place to work at the job fair too. So yeah, they're trying to get even more people.
Oh, did they do one of those things where they sit down with one of the execs and was like, where'd you come from?
Yep. That was HR and one of our VPs who I like. And then they had one of our shop people on there for Who's the Stiff. And he won. He won the prize. He got all the questions right.
He wasn't a dummy?
Nope.
Nice. I always fucking hear those every morning, and it's like...
How do you not know that?
Dumb motherfuckers on here.
A couple guys wanted to get on it and just answer everything super wrong and just try and make us all look like idiots. It's like, can we get on Who's the Stiff? And
look like.
Yeah, and be really dumb. But, it was kind of cool having them there, but I wish they weren't set up right next to me.
Right? Because it's like
inescapable.
They're not happy to be there. You're not happy that they're there.
Right, I'm trying to work.
Yeah.
And I don't need to hear the wheezing of Brian and Bob.
So I heard Zabin got a job at a Milwaukee radio station that offered him more money. Apparently there's some like sports.
Really? I thought he was doing some Redskins thing for Washington.
Really?
I don't know.
I heard that he was actually moving to Milwaukee to do this gig.
Should I Google it?
No, that'll take too much time. Don't.
Google. Where is Steve Zabin today?
I actually have one of those in there, so be careful.
That's how my phone is.
They finally put it so you can listen to podcasts and cast them across all your shit in arrays instead of just having it in one room.
He has his own podcast.
Yeah, he's had that for a while. So let me set the stage for you and Brittany setting up for a nice dinner.
Just did that a couple nights ago. I went to a sushi place. Continue.
No, I meant like at home.
Oh, okay.
Just gonna eat in, make a nice dinner, watch a movie. Although you don't like any movies, so I couldn't imagine what it would be. But
I've been watching a couple movies lately.
Your downstairs neighbor, he's deaf, so he's not gonna hear anything. And you'd go to take the dog out, and there is a man licking your
door lock, this doorknob,
licking your doorbell.
Oh, Steve Zabin's on ESPN.
Fuck that. Okay. We're moving on here. We're moving on to
the liquor.
Yeah, this has been like everyone at my work has been talking about this all week long.
Not a single person has mentioned it at my work yet.
Really?
No.
They're out of the loop, man. Come on. This was like on national news.
Should we watch the ABC 7 story and react?
Like bring it up and mute it so we can have it in the P&P, but
here we go. Clips are going. Oh wait, I'm sorry. You have to I have to new setup, technical difficulties. I have to set up each individual page to cast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At least right now.
Okay.
I'll figure something out here in a little bit. Okay, here we go.
I already have it on here, but look at this guy. He's just like...
Here's the thing. Okay, I love how she's laughing a little bit, but this is exactly the kind of face I would expect to be doing something like this.
So, for those of you who haven't heard about this guy didn't just like come up to a doorbell and like lick it and then walk away. He here for like
the camera too.
3 hours, man. This has to be some sort of like voyeuristic fetish of his. Like the fear of getting caught is what
he's looking right into the camera.
Yeah, right.
Or maybe he's doing it just to disturb these people. Like he knows they have the camera there, and he's like, "Why do you feel you need
they're
that
all
in our
fucking
neighborhood?"
yucking it up at this guy. But basically,
she's just so
keep a
upset.
fucking straight face. But we were talking about it at work, and someone was like, well, how did he manage to lick it for 3 hours and not accidentally ring it? And this guy was like, very light licks. You had to give very light licks.
Or they just weren't home and he was just bringing the hell out of it.
The kids were home. There was 2 kids home and the parents were gone for the night, I believe. And they got a notification.
What if that was the plot of a Home Alone movie?
Fucking doorbell licker. That fucking...
Joe Pesci's outside licking my doorbell, Mom. Marv and Joe Pesci are outside licking my doorbell.
Oh, Jesus. John Candy's ghost, please, you have to get me home to my son. There's a pervert outside.
Oh, my God. I'm going to watch this a little more. I feel like he is ringing it.
Just look at him go to town.
He's clearly pushing it in with the licks.
The thing about it was, at work, we've been just saying this to each other over and over again. Very light licks. Have to get very, very light licks.
So the question is, did they catch him?
Yes, they did. They didn't at this time. But in the news story...
We struck again.
Yeah, right. They described him as at large. So they put out a thing for his arrest, but it's just a misdemeanor. That's all they can get him with. He was wanted for
it's not like assault or anything.
Yeah, so he won't be going to like jail or anything like that. He's just gonna get charged and then be like, dude, all right, we have to do this. You're fucking weird, but we gotta let you go.
Yeah, there's one cop who's probably just, man, I wish I could have locked him up.
What if it was just somebody who was like, I dare you to fucking go lick that doorknob for 3 hours. You wouldn't do it.
Yeah, he gets a misdemeanor for petty theft and prowling, but here's the closing statement of the article. Here's the closing statement of the ABC7 article. As for the Dungans, they said they came home and made sure to clean off their doorbell. I think
oh my God.
I think the guys that write these articles get to have some fun with these closing statements and stuff. It's like
an article about a guy licking a doorbell.
I know, but it's like writing a police procedural and laying down the cool guy deadlines. Just like, oh man, he really had to chill out. Oh, so one perv to another, eh? R. Kelly, just tackle it.
What
next.
they really should have done is like swab the places, because he was probably beating it with the other hand and just like put it in the semen database and found him. It's everything according to CSI and crime genres. Everything is coded with semen. Everything.
He just bukkakied all over the place.
It's a bukkake tsunami everywhere. And all you have to do is just Q-tip something and then look it up in the semen database.
Did I tell you about my mother in Cards Against Humanity from Christmas?
I don't
tell
know
you this story?
I don't know. She gets some bukkake fucking card or something. What's a bukkake?
So
you're giving me this look, either like I'm exactly right or that's my mother you're talking about.
So we were doing a Christmas dinner pretty late because my family and Brittany's families are separated, so there's just a lot of Christmases going on. So my mother's was a little bit later.
2 weeks worth of Christmas.
Yeah. My mother's was a little bit later with her boyfriend, and excuse me, they were telling me that they usually go to one of James's friend's house and play games on New Year's Eve, like board games and stuff like that. And my mom was like, yeah, last couple of years we played Cards Against Humanity. What a dirty game that is. And James was like explaining to me that he got a new expansion pack and that they weren't sure what some of the things were, so they were trying to Google them. And my mom was just like, they were so terrible that I forgot this woman's name. I'm just going to make up a name. Jan. Jan couldn't even look them up on her company phone. They were blocked. and James was like, yeah, it was some stuff from like some other cultures. And I was like, hentai. And he was like, and he gave me a look like I nailed it. And I was just like, yeah, Yeah, that's what it was, wasn't it? And he was like, uh-huh. Well, I was like, it's just disgusting.
What's a body pillow?
Yeah, she's just like, it was disgusting. I was like, I was explaining to him, I was like,
What's a rim job?
it's just like, then we had to like explain the premise of Cards Against Humanity, that it's supposed to be vulgar and disgusting. And my mom's like, why couldn't it be like apples to apples? And it's like, because it's disgusting apples to apples. Just trying to explain to my like almost 60-year-old mother, just like Cards Against Humanity is meant to be vulgar and slightly off-putting. I'm sorry you got the Weeb starter pack or whatever. But Jesus, like my mom was just going off about it the rest of the night. We got her started on it.
Why I never.
Yeah, we got her started on it. It wasn't stopping. It was just.
She at least enjoy herself? Or did she hate every second?
No, she was like, I can't play this hand.
So you would have won the game.
Yeah.
I've only played that game a few times, but it's fun.
It's okay. It gets pretty old pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, you know, how many...
Oh, he laid Hitler. Oh, that's the Trump card. Well, now the Trump card's the Trump card, probably. Right. But you know what I mean. Yeah, it's the same thing with apples to apples. It's like, oh, he laid something it's inconceivable. It doesn't even make sense. That's a winner. This is the same thing why my mom actually had problems with it. She's just like, none of it makes any sense. It's not supposed to.
What in terms of bukkake did this actually apply to?
It's just another gross Japanese thing.
Oh.
Because we were talking about semen covering everything in CSI.
Yeah. I thought something like pick the bukkake. Like,
oh, I'm sure there's a bukkake card in there. It's probably one of the things they Googled. It's probably one of the things they Googled. It's like, what is a bukkake?
Fuck the Trump card, man. Play the bukkake card.
Well, yeah. It's in the Weeb expansion pack, though.
Fucking 1,000 lives lost in bukkake tsunami in Taiwan today. Too soon?
Too soon. Speaking of a bukkake tsunami, though, how about this R. Kelly guy?
Man, it's like amazing that we're talking about him again. I mean, he's been shit on so many times, like starting with Chappelle, man, I believe. Like,
well, Chappelle and the Boondocks, it all came up again. It was just like
the Boondocks did it like a secondary rib on him. I remember like in their first season, they're literally making fun of R. Kelly for the whole PP situation.
And people defending him. But I mean, because Boondocks covers usually both sides of everything, and the ridiculousness of both, at least to an extent.
So how old was the initial girl that he got charged with pissing on? And there was a tape,
I believe
too,
it was
right?
15, because I'm going to go with that, because that's what Chappelle was saying, where if you're 15, you should be able to say, please don't pee on me. Which, I mean, to an extent, yeah. But then we also get to...
But then there's the thing, it's like, okay... She could have said, please don't pee on me, but is she, old enough to make the decision that even if she wanted him to pee on him, that's still not appropriate at that age?
Yeah, or, maybe it's like some people using their position over other people, as some people have in the past, Mm-hmm. I'm R. Kelly. I'm going to pee on you. But all that aside, it's like, is anyone surprised? They've been talking about him having a child sex cult thing for, the past 5 years?
Right.
Easily. Mm-hmm. Now you have a documentary.
Yeah, the Surviving R. Kelly documentary just came out, so this whole thing is like exploded.
It's like that Joseph Kony guy with the child soldiers, in my opinion. They made a documentary about it, thoughts and prayers. We forget about it in 2 months. You think?
I don't know, because there's still more of this to air, I think. But R. Kelly said he's going to sue everybody involved.
Yeah, that's the story you sent. Yeah, I actually got it right here. Yeah, that's not going to go well for him.
Yeah, I don't think so, because it's just going to like dig himself deeper. Like if they're not pressing something against him, I wouldn't. If I was him, I wouldn't press my luck with that.
Yeah. Y'all making me look bad. I'm a pee on you.
So there's this thing with Lady Gaga like renouncing him, which is good. But she also
because she did some songs with him.
Yeah,
a lot of people have done songs with him.
A lot of people like she tacked on in her statement. She's like, "Oh, I was mentally ill then." It's like, okay, look, it's fine that you didn't exactly know everything that the fucking guy was doing.
But you knew he peed on somebody a long time ago. That's the thing.
There's that too.
It's like other artists have done stuff with R. Kelly, and it's like he peed on people back then. And the cover story, it was like, I was mentally ill. That's a cover story. I'm sorry.
Right.
Just like, you knew that he peed on somebody. That happened like 15 years ago.
I was going to go more with the aspect. It's like, okay for you to like do something with a guy and not exactly be aware of like all the shit that's going on around him. Like you did something with an artist who's like shady. It's not like he fucking comes up and he's like, yeah, by the way, I have a sex dungeon with like
with
child lovers back at the place.
Yeah.
Or that every collaboration that he goes into.
Or that he's like dragging you along for it too.
Right.
Like that is true. But at the same time, you do realize he peed on somebody. And he did it. I'm going to actually Google the date for when that happened because I think it was like late 90s.
Yeah. I don't think it's so important that you got to look it up and introduce dead air. But,
you can keep going.
I don't have much to go on.
He was trapped back in the closet.
He had that fucking music video where it was the world's greatest. I just thought like when that came out, I was like, wow, that's fucking lame.
Yeah, this has been going on. This is a two sentences I'm pulling off Wikipedia. Since the 1990s, Kelly has been the subject of numerous...
Since the 1910s, the Kelly family...
Kelly has been subject to numerous allegations of sexual abuse and misconduct, often with underage girls. All charges he categorically denies. In 2002, he was indicted on 21 counts of child pornography and was acquitted of all charges in 2018. So the glove didn't fit, and you had to acquit. But there's stuff going around. The guy at least is a whirlwind of controversy, and you still would have they still made the decision to collab with him.
It's like a manipulator, basically.
Yeah. Whether it be Lady Gaga, Young Jeezy, or all those other artists, they're still making the decision to collab with them, and you can't just.
Didn't Spotify take down his music?
Yeah, and
I think that was a development.
I think Kendrick
today.
Lamar, of all people, said something about if you pull R. Kelly stuff, I'm gonna pull my music off Spotify or something. That's gonna backfire. Seems like a weird stance to take.
Yeah, it really is. Like Terry Crews this week attacked, well, not necessarily attacked, but called out Kevin Hart for the whole fiasco that went down because
the Oscars thing.
Yeah, he got kicked off because he used to have like gay jokes or whatever.
Made some gay jokes on the tweeter.
Which I do agree that he's like a different person now, but I also I didn't really think of it like this until Cruz said it. He's like, he called him out for making it look like people were attacking him, and he was like, nobody's attacking you, man. Like you just all they wanted you to do was like own up to some shit you said. And you should have just done it. But he made this whole just like, no, I'm not going to apologize. I'm being attacked.
That is kind of true. There's T. Cruz dropping another truth bomb.
Bless that man.
He just dropped. They had their first episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine on NBC, and apparently it's pulled better ratings than it ever pulled on Fox.
Oh, really? They started that one back up. They started the fire back up.
They're on a new network. Apparently, it's got a multiplied number of viewers. Like, I don't know the exact statistics.
It's probably all the hype from it just being like taken down and like the news that's surrounded
and
that.
They're advertising for it apparently much better. But yeah, T. Cruz, good to see him back on that show. I like watching the man move his pecs once a season, because that's basically his thing. He does like the peck bomb. He did it on the Old Spice commercials.
Never really realized how fucking creepy it was, but we had a middle school vice principal. Man, we're not going to say his name, but he He basically said this one time, he's like, hey, you want to see something you're never going to forget your entire life? He just fucking like boom, boom, like starts flexing. So I was like, what the fuck, dude? Even as like a middle schooler, I was like, dude, come on, don't do that.
I mean, if I could do it, I'd do it all the time.
And fucking scream, ah!
And then throw Old Spice at people. But, oh man, Lady Gaga claiming mental illness. That's just the way you phrased that statement. I'm sorry, I or what did you say she said? It's too bad that I collaborated with R. Kelly, but I was mentally ill.
Yeah, something like that. She did denounce him or whatever, which I guess is I like that someone who is still like popular in the limelight is like taking like a position to like say something. It's like, oh, they're helping bring this to like the public limelight by doing that, but I don't think she did it in the right way. She's like, I was basically insane at the time. Like,
like, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that statement. Like,
it's like, okay, fucking Cosby's. Like, all the people who are involved with the Cosby's, you expect them to like be like, oh, well, you know, now we're to blame too because we knew. Yeah,
that's true. I'm not saying that they have to take blame, but sitting there and acting like you had, if you can't, they can't all just sit there and go, I was mentally ill at the time.
I do like that you said though, but you were just like basically, come on, you knew he peed.
Like you knew that, and you. Yeah,
when's the Trump tape gonna come out, man? I want to see that one.
Yeah, I mean, you still banked off his fame and notoriety to move yourself up. You know, I get it. It's a dog-eat-dog world in the big music industry and
entertainment in particular.
Yeah, I get that. But saying I was mentally ill is just fucking weak sauce. I'm sorry. All right, goodbye, R. Kelly. I hope this one puts a nail in your career finally. And then you'll be trapped in the coffin and not in the closet. It's a ridiculous song. All right, so have you watched Bandersnatch, this Netflix Choose Your Own Adventure?
I have not.
Okay, I did. I actually watched quite a few movies recently.
Now, there was the Choose Your Own, I don't know, when I saw that, I was like, they've been doing that since fucking Wing Commander, goddammit.
Yeah, DVDs. We used to have DVDs that had that, except
Goosebumps DVDs.
Back then, you didn't choose exactly your decision. You fast forwarded to a certain section of the DVD, and then it kept playing, and then it would be like, oh, back up to 22:11, and then you back up, and then another decision you'd have to fast forward. So you just kind of jump all over in this DVD. This one. You know, obviously...
Wasn't there chapter selections on the DVD, or are you talking VHS?
It was a DVD. Yeah, you could do chapter selection too, but I feel like some of them it was like different. Maybe it was a VHS.
I remember I had like the Star Wars video game where they had some guy play Darth Vader, and like on the board game, depending on situations, you had to like play certain parts of the tape. Which all in all is just cumbersome. It just slows things down.
Yes. I agree with that. But this flowed well together. You could make the decisions, but overall, I thought the story was bland, in my opinion.
Would you pick Fruity Pops or Frosted Flakes?
Were those the option? I thought it was Kellogg's or... the one option was Frosted Flakes. We totally did the Frosted Flakes.
I forget what the other one was. You did the Frosted Flakes?
Yeah.
When I saw the options, I was like, I'd pick Frosted Flakes. I like me some Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, it was like you got to.
Everybody knows that I'm about the Frosted Flakes. They say, Doug, you're about the Frosted Flakes. You like a bowl of Frosted Flakes. You're all about those Frosted Flakes.
In the next decision, it was like music decisions, and Brittany picked Now, and I was really upset. But
like Now 18?
Yeah, something like that.
No, that's what I call country.
Yeah.
Isn't this set in 84 or something?
Yeah, he has like a little tape deck, and then she picked Now something. It just said Now, and then it played that, and it was... We had to listen to the Now
fucking
soundtrack.
Kids Bop.
Yeah.
You could actually change the soundtrack to the movie.
I don't know if it would affect the overarching part of it, but every time he got on the bus, it played that song.
Not a new concept, though. It's called video games.
Yeah. And choose your own adventure books, which is actually why we were talking about this, because they are suing the publisher over the choose your own adventure title section of the movie, because they're calling it Black Mirror Choose Your Own Adventure Bandersnatch, and Choose Your Own Adventure apparently has some sort of copyright claim over that.
I could see if they have a copyright claim over the phrasing of the words specifically, but that's not something that's been specifically delegated to that brand. I mean, Goosebumps did it. A bunch of people online did it with their own various perverted fanfics.
Well, they're accusing Netflix of willfully infringing on the Choose Your Own Adventure trademark and claiming that the episode is so dark it'll tarnish the books and reputation. I did not find the episode that dark. I just kind of found it rather foolish.
Was it like a full-length movie, or is it just an episode?
You know, time-wise, I kind of got lost in it. It was pretty long, though. And the fact that you had to... that the person that was watching the movie in my house was making some of the wrong decisions and had to go back and redo them. Because it was like a choose-your-own-adventure book where, although there are multiple endings, you can fuck up getting to an ending a couple times, and you're like, well, now you got to go back and do the other choice because you have to.
Like, do you have to go through the whole thing again?
No, it like goes back to the decision that you messed up.
I thought this was an interesting way for them to potentially like do something that people can't pirate, because you can't just you have to have like the mechanisms and like the software behind it.
Well, maybe the pirated ones will just be like the old school DVDs we were just talking about. Where they'll put in like a little blue screen and tell you what timestamp to fast forward to, depending on which one you want.
Yeah, I kept on seeing it, and I was like, I don't got time for this shit.
I thought it was kind of a lackluster story. Although Black Mirror's been pretty hyped by a lot of people around me, and I actually just haven't watched Black Mirror.
Yeah, me neither. Even though it sounds like something that would be cool, because it's an anthology, and that's cool. It doesn't just stick to...
It's like Outer Limits
one thing
with like a new, up-to-date...
Technology is out to get ya!
The likes, the serotonin, your mind controlled by the government, lizard people, cell phone towers giving you cancer. I don't actually know what the story... I know like a couple of the stories because people have recited them to me, where they're just like, that last episode of Black Mirror was so good. That lady and her punishment was... reliving the accident again and again and trying to get away, and everyone recording on their cell phones and not helping her or intervening whatsoever, or whatever but you don't know because you haven't watched it, but people recite.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, people recite their TV watchings to me at work. That is something that happens at my work. People will be like, I watched that latest episode of the Game of the Thrones. It'll be something like that, or the Breaking Bad, or
somebody was talking to me about
the Dead Men Walking.
Somebody was talking about the line of a Disney movies coming up, and I made sure I blatantly stated at least 5 times, it's like, yeah, I really don't like Disney musicals. Never did. And then they kept talking about it. I was like, yeah, and Disney musical is not my thing. Kind of being like, maybe I don't want to fucking talk about this.
It's like me with football with some of the guys at work. I'd be like, oh, yeah, those Bears are doing pretty good. You like the Bears, right? What gave you any indication I like the Bears? Because I wear a Chicago Blackhawks sweater? And they were like, oh, that one guy's pretty good. It's like, I don't even know anyone on the team. I don't know. I don't watch football. And every day, the same guys go by and like, yeah, man, that's pretty good season for them.
One of the guys at work,
what?
He's talking about football, and I was like, yeah, that and basketball, fucking diva sports. And I could just see the fucking rage in his eyes. Like, what the fuck did you just say? But honestly, like, it's fucking, like, football nowadays is, like, I can appreciate wanting to cut down on injuries and head injuries, stuff like that. Same in hockey, so you don't get, like, fucking calcified chunks of brain and end up, like, murdering people like O.J. Simpson. But
the glove didn't fit. You had to acquit. So
yeah, but they got him later, man.
Yeah,
he's out now, man. OJ is at large.
He's out after the Vegas memorabilia incident.
Yep.
That's my stuff. And then he basically stuffed that guy.
So, yeah, I don't know. Just like,
but you were saying watching football.
Pampered millionaires and like, this ball and lifestyle shit like that. Just a bunch of diva shit, man. I got my fucking new jersey, my new models of shoes, buy my fucking shit, pay for my big car. There's only like a few guys, and fucking, I'm sure when they pull up to fucking like practice with like a sensible car, like the ones who are actually going to fucking have some fucking money afterwards. Yeah. Like they're making millions, but they're not fucking like spending it frivolously.
They're frugal.
Yeah.
And there's honestly probably more guys like that in the league than we honestly hear about, just because of the big ballers are more newsworthy.
Eating diamonds to the fucking dookie sprinkle. Twinkle.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're like, hockey has some guys like that are
really
blowing it all.
Glitzy glamour boys.
Well, no, I mean they're just like they're blowing it all. Like they're blowing it all way too fast, and they don't get paid as much as the other sports.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many fucking millions are they really raking in that shit?
Not as much as the other sports,
right? Because that's their fucking thing. Like,
I think some of the highest paid dudes, it's only like 13 mil. Well, other guys
only.
Yeah, no, but compared to other sports, that's fucking a small contract.
Still, like, that's still a lot of fucking money. It just amazes me that people couldn't make it by on that shit. Speaking of fucking money, let's talk about Bezos and his wife not having a prenup and getting a divorce.
I mean, they were together 25 years, though. Yeah, okay.
They had a good run. They're going to be the best of friends.
Highest NHL player is 13.8 mil.
So I heard Bezos and his wife now, instead of Bezos being the richest, they're going to be like the 5th and 6th richest people in the world.
Okay, speaking of rich, though, how much do you think the highest NFL contract is?
$90 million.
Pretty damn close. Aaron Rodgers was $75 million.
Yeah, I heard that figure.
Salary bonuses $66.9 million and $9 million in endorsements. That's way more than the NHL contract. The highest NHL contract is only 13.
That is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
What's he doing with all? Like, he has this whole persona that he puts out, but he is a fucking mega millionaire. What does he do? What kind of lifestyle does he have on the other side of that?
I know he's reclusive and stays away from his family, and it just sounds like he's kind of I don't know. I get the impression that he's kind of a jerk.
Really, you think so?
I mean, not when he's in the public eye. You know what I mean? Like a private jerk.
You know what?
But I
don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I really don't give a fuck.
I could be totally wrong. Like he seems really nice, up in front, but from the internal drama that I can't avoid hearing about the Packer team, it sounds like, maybe he thinks it should be his show a lot of times.
I kind of feel like a lot of that shit has to come with that, because you have to be a certain kind of person to want to get to that level and like sacrifice certain things in your life to get to this point that is completely unnecessary, It's like, you're fucking filthy rich. How much more rich do you have to be? It's like the whole Bezos thing.
Yeah.
He's fucking filthy rich. Really, how much more rich do you need to get? Like, at what point does it become more of a power thing?
Just look at Bezos here. I got a casting right now. I got a picture of Bezos up if you want to.
Let me see here.
But he had what, 1 point? He had.
I really feel like this artistic version of him, like, it's funny, but I feel like it's wrong. They didn't get the lazy eye in there. But I don't know, for like for shitting on him, like it seems like he's done some fairly charitable, like, endeavors.
When he has what, $125 billion. Mm-hmm. A charitable donation is a drop in the bucket, and it probably.
No, I'm not talking about like charitable donation. He's done like a lot of. I think he's done like. He's set up like fucking coding camps and stuff like that, and not just like like, here's the money, do it. Like, he's been actively involved in, like, actually setting it up. Because that's kind of where he came through with, like, his interest in technology. But there's also, like, the way he treats his workers, which it's not him directly being, like, you know, there's a board of directors. I think he only has a 12% stake in Amazon, and I say only. But I think he only owns, at this point, 12%, and that's a condition of their prenup. Or not prenup, that's a condition of the divorce, that he's going to lose half of that 12%.
Yeah. I mean, he was with this woman for 25 years, supposedly, and I think they were together even before he got rich. So
That's a lot of money, man.
Bob and Brian,
billion.
we're coming full circle here. Bob and Brian were talking about it, and it was like, okay, so he's the richest man in the world. They get divorced. He drops down to fourth, and she goes up to fourth. It was
fifth. It was fifth and sixth, I believe. They would be.
Yeah, they.
And I wouldn't be surprised if, like, the way the court system's set up, that she is more rich than him afterwards.
Yeah, probably. Jeff Bezos' wife. I don't know what she looks like. Oh. What does she do?
I think they worked together.
Oh, he really does have a pretty big lazy eye. He looks like a villain in
He does look like a
villain from James Bond.
Lex Luthor.
I was going to say, he looks like the villain from James Bond that gets shot in the side of the head.
Oh, the one with the bullet in his head. That's fucking Voldemort, man. That's the same guy.
I don't know, but what's his...
Tom something.
What's his villain name? Renard or something?
I don't know, but it was the one with Charlie Sheen's wife in it. I think Die Another Day or something.
Yeah, the chick with the chunk missing out of her ear. James Bond's like kissing her neck, and then it's like, oh my God, you're missing a piece of your ear.
What?
Watch it again. It's a funny movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched that in fucking forever. The video game was dope.
I always ended up renting that one, and I was trying to get the other one when I was a kid.
Which one? The World Is Not Enough or GoldenEye?
The World Is Not Enough, I think.
That one was the dumbest.
Is that the NK one?
That one was the one where they just started fucking upping it, like...
Is that the one where they go to North Korea?
I'm not sure, but there's like some sort of stealth boat. And there's like this scene where I think they are, like, there's a scene where they're doing like a motorcycle chase through like a very narrow Asian locale. And then there's like a skyscraper of like the villain's face as like on this big banner on the side, and they fucking like grab a hold of it and like tear his face in half to like shimmy down the fucking building.
Yeah. Because I watched the hell out of GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies. World Is Not Enough got a lot of play with the drill missile that was remote control.
GoldenEye got the most in my place. So my dad was like, you gotta watch the beginning of this movie. A guy jumps off a cliff after an airplane.
And then the one I didn't watch a lot was the one where they go to North Korea and the bad guy's Steve Jobs. He like wants to melt the ice cap or something.
Dude, in World Is Not Enough, there is a fucking great bad guy death. A guy falls into a printing press.
Yeah, the blood squirts everywhere.
It's just like, no, like bloody newspaper comes out.
Yeah,
like you don't see anything. It's just like ah, and then the blood on the newspaper comes out.
Yeah, out of the press side. Oh, okay, so back to Bezos getting divorced. Sorry for this detour. His
That's
wife,
amazing how sidetracked on Bond villains and James Bond we got. Just one picture of Bezos in a tux.
He looks like a Bond villain. But Bezos met Mackenzie, who he will soon be divorcing at
But they're going to be best of friends, Stefan.
Probably. They were together for 25 years. That's a really long time, unless it's just super embittered. But she used to work for him at a hedge fund management place. Interesting stuff. So apparently he's already got plans to get remarried to somebody too, I heard.
So he can lose half of the other half?
I'm sure a man with his business savvy will get a prenup this time.
Mm-hmm.
You may not have another half of Amazon. Sorry.
Right. Well, it's not half. It's half of his shares, and that's 12%, so he's going to have 6 now.
I don't even think he'll care.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, how much longer is he going to keep doing that before he just turns it over to someone else to take the reins on that.
Yeah. I wonder what he'll change his endeavors to. Who do you think he'll get in bed with?
There's
a business
they're doing
side?
shit in space, and they're fucking they're trying to make like a commercial space company, and there is a I know in the past he's done fucking like deep sea wreck expeditions.
Did you hear that the like Titanic wreck is going to blow away?
Really?
Basically, it doesn't have that much longer before it will just be dissolved. I also heard that China is going to be recently did a launch, but they're going to be planning to build a radio station on the dark side of the moon, so there won't be any interference from Earth for
That's cool.
for deeper transmission.
Are they going to let us use it?
I don't know. I think they're pretty pissed off right now with the whole trade war.
Yeah, the whole trade war thing.
But I think everyone's really pissed off at America right now. The entire world in the course of a few years.
Obama.
Yeah, over the course of a few years, it's just like, well, fuck those guys.
Oh my God. The fucking shit that's just been going around out of the president's mouth about the border wall. Like, support him or not, he's fucking lying about shit.
Yeah, he's a liar.
Like, he's just blatantly lying. And it's like, how much...
How deep in denial can some of these people be?
Yeah.
I don't know. They can be pretty deep, though. It's
Did you hear
ridiculous.
the shit about him talking about the materials that are proposed for the steel wall? And somebody was like, you can cut through it with a hacksaw in like 5 minutes or something.
Yeah, I saw that video.
And he's just like, well, of course you can. Like, if you build a concrete wall, you could like dump acid on it or whatever. And he's basically just be like, well, if you want to get through the wall, do this. Here's a way to do it.
Then why are you wasting your time building this fucking ancient ass?
He wants the money.
Yeah, I know.
It's all about the money.
It's delivering something on.
He's so far deep into this thing, he can't back down.
Yeah. On so many levels.
But he sounds like such a fucking idiot talking about it.
It's
like I feel like
facade is slowly stripping away.
I feel like the man sounds like an idiot a lot of the times, but this is one where I'm just like in the shower. I'm just like, whew, that's bad even for him. Like,
ooh, Donnie, come on, buddy. I don't sit with you at the lunch table, but geez, man, come on.
Oh my God, just listening to him, like in his mannerisms, like could take Obama in his ums.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame. Somehow it manages to get to the public speaking abilities, just seems to get downgraded each time. Yeah, I was not a fan of Obama's ums. I was like, this guy's public speaking skills are terrible. I remember saying that at the Jerry Garcia bar. We were at the fucking Jerry Garcia bar downtown getting ready for the election. Because remember, we were doing the whole Winchester thing. Let's go to the bar and wait for this whole thing to blow over.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, this guy's public speaking skills are just awful. Mine are right now, too, apparently. But just all the ums and the pauses and the me going and likes, and I'm terrible too, so it's a bit hypocritical, but now we have Donnie.
He'd be a great president, Stefan.
But now we have Donnie. Donnie is not of the Osborne family. He's of the Trump dynasty. And I don't even... The court case stuff is like picking up steam, and the government shutdown, and...
That's the one thing that is like really getting to me about it, because he's just like, oh, the Democrats are holding the government hostage. It's like,
you did this.
You shut the government down, bub. You did it.
But that's the thing. The people that are still supporting him literally... It doesn't matter what he says. Mm-hmm. It doesn't even fucking matter.
That's why it doesn't serve any point to like try and debate it or whatever.
No, it doesn't.
We'll just talk amongst ourselves in the echo chamber.
Yes.
In this echo chamber.
And just be baffled and just be completely baffled.
Yep. That's all I want to talk about, like when it comes to politics, and like it's also a lot of left-wing shit too. It's just like, that's fucking crazy.
You are
And I don't know.
Insane.
I just don't have the fucking energy to enter into this debate.
And it's not like I'm going to change your mind.
Yeah,
it's not like I even really desire to change your mind at this point. But then we're going to get locked in a conversation where you're going to try to change my mind, or, like, I don't have the energy to try and change your mind in your essential oils or your flat earth. Or
what I really cannot stand, though, is when people just flat out regurgitate something that you heard some pundit say. It's just like, okay, you obviously didn't even take time to form your own opinion on this, right or left. Yeah, you're just fucking regurgitating somebody else.
Yep.
That is what really irks me. It's like, I don't even care if I don't agree with your politics. At least put some time in to have your own politics and not just somebody else's that they've given you.
Yeah, right now it's at work. There's the people who are all about that Ortega Cortez lady.
Yeah.
And then there's people that are all about the Trump stuff. And then it's just funny, though, because the stuff they say about each other is just so funny. Like, one of the Trump guys was like, man, she declared bankruptcy once. And I'm sitting there like, Trump declared bankruptcy like 7 fucking times, dude. And the Ortiz people
Did you hear about his charity recently?
Yeah. And the Ortiz people are just like, man, he doesn't deliver any of his promises. And I'm sitting there like, Whoopi Goldberg called that bitch out, too, because she hasn't done a goddamn thing either.
Well, she hasn't been in office.
Yeah, I know. But it's like, it's just like, y'all need to just
one of the things about
disappear.
Or what's her last name?
Cortez, I think. I don't know.
One of the things about her is she introduced this proposal for, like, once, on your $10 millionth dollar, you're going to get into the 70% tax bracket, which I feel like if you're making that much money at that point in time, like, you're going to make so much that's not really going to matter.
Okay, so Cortez. Yeah, I saw that too.
But my first thought of it was, she's 28, and it's like, that's very ambitious. You might want to pump the brake. Like, that's just like some sort of, like, to me, that's like somebody coming in just like,
oh yeah, she's coming in. She's coming in hot.
Yep.
It's like a Mr. Whatever goes to Washington. Maybe.
Mr. Miller?
Yeah. Mr. Whatever his name goes to Washington.
That was I know
the castle from Braveheart on there? Or sorry, from Highlander?
Let's see here.
I
don't know.
I just watched that movie.
But
again.
Are you gonna fucking watch some Zardoz?
Well, we're really changing gears. Government to Highlander.
There can be only one.
Brett actually brought up a really good point. He said they had an Englishman play a Scotsman and a Scotsman.
I said that.
You said that too.
Yeah, they have a Frenchman play an Irishman and an Irishman, they have a Frenchman play a Scotsman and a Scotsman play a Spaniard.
Why?
Makes no fucking sense.
And it's just so ridiculous too, because I love Sean Connery, but he does not fit that Spaniard role very well.
Zardoz was the one where he was in that fucking weird Speedo thing with the pistol.
He's in like a bondage costume and he's got a phaser pistol. Like he
I'm gonna
should
have to
be
ask
on the
my
top
dad
of
because my mom had a thing for Sean Connery. I'm gonna have to ask my dad what she thought of his role in Zardoz.
I think he brings down like some matriarchy society.
Look at the picture of Sean Connery in his in the cover of Zardoz.
Yeah, he looks like he'd be on the cover of a Frank Fazada art, but I believe in this movie he brings down some sort of matriarchy or something.
Oh, it's a post-apocalyptic society ran by women.
Yeah, I think so.
That totally makes sense for him because he was like a womanizer basically.
Yeah, here's a picture of him holding down somebody.
Oh! You're not casting, so.
Oh, okay. Woo! That was a clip from the movie. Do not watch this if you're under 18. We'll be sure not to.
Ooh la la, Mr. Connery.
And he's got the thigh-high boots too.
Could you just imagine him though? It's like, what the fuck is this shit?
Young and desperate.
You signed the contract. That's not a young Sean Connery, Stefan. Like a younger, but that is not like you know what he looks like in the black and white James Bond film.
Yeah.
That's a young Sean Connery. This is a seasoned Sean Connery.
I really liked the script.
Maybe he was just getting into fucking, fucking
Let's see who the director was.
clown bond. He just graduated from fucking clown bondage school.
Maybe John
Clown
Borman.
bondage college.
Maybe John Borman, the director, had a really good.
What's this cover now? That's nothing like the other one. Oh, it is. It's just cartoon form now.
Looking up John Borman's.
The fucking text is like almost like the S that everybody used to draw and shit.
I'm looking up the directors.
That's actually kind of nice that you can look at one tab and look shit up and not cast it.
Oh yeah,
Because you probably almost just put a picture of a penis out there or whatever, judging by
those females' breasts.
lady boobs. Oh God.
I don't know why the hell Sean Connery would have signed up for this.
Speaking of tits, did you know that the actress who played Deanna Troi on Star Trek: The Next Generation
Yes?
was in Death Wish 3?
No.
And she had a titty scene. And
Really?
she spoke out about it too because she was
Charles Bronson saw my boobs. Sorry.
he's like 80 in that movie too. And he's just fucking. It's like they've completely done away with any like series. It's like, okay, this is just what happens to the women that he meets
In Death
They
Wish.
get brutally raped and murdered, and then he has to go on a killing spree.
It worked in the first one. It worked in the second one. We're doing it in the third one.
So
Star Trek's big. Let's go.
the Star Trek was not out yet. This was like 85, and
Okay.
she had been known to say that she was so thankful for Star Trek because she didn't have to do these like scummy roles now, because apparently the fucking director for the Death Wish movies is a fucking creep. Like she had asked
I mean,
if she could be covered while like they
I'm
were
sorry,
shooting.
but duh, he has a chick get raped in every movie.
No, apparently he's like a massive sex pervert. And
Duh.
in between like takes, she was like, "Can I have something to like cover myself up?" And he was like, "No."
I honestly, that's terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm also not surprised. Like, if you'd seen Death Wish 1, it's got a pretty graphic rape scene starring Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry, Lawrence Fishburne, right?
Oh.
It's Fishburne? Oh, God, I haven't seen this movie for 15 years.
it's one of your favorites, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're all about Death
I love
Wish.
that. Charles Bronson just goes vigilante.
Now, I have not seen anything with the Bruce Willis being Death Wish man.
I heard it was good.
Movie.
People told me it was good. All right.
Some good killing. That's all I'm expecting.
Jeff Goldblum is it. He's freak number one. I was right.
Pull that picture up of him. We're on the Wikipedia page. Here we go. Nice.
Freak number one. There's another freak. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, in 3 there was like this old lady fucking referring to all the baddies as those creeps. It's getting those creeps. So he shot one of those creeps.
I could have sworn Lawrence Fishburne was in this.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Wasting too much time on it.
Yeah. Who likes dead air? But yeah, I was right. Goldblum's in it. Yeah, he's at the main rape thing too. He's all like, because that's
Just licking.
yeah, pretty much. And then Charles Bronson goes to Texas, meets a Texan who's like, "We got guns in our houses. Here's a 6-shooter revolver." And Charles Bronson's like, "That's a good idea." Basically takes it from him, flies back to New York, and just starts shooting people. It's a great movie. And he meets a bunch of people in the park, and he's like, "You're scum."
In 3, he basically buys a car and leaves it out for somebody
To steal. And he blows it up.
Yeah, and no, he doesn't blow it up. He fucking murders them after. He basically creates a situation for him to murder somebody. Like, comes out is like.
Is 3 the one where he fights the mob and he has like a 50 cal sniper rifle?
He fights a bunch of like young splatter punks.
In one of them, he ends up with like a 50 cal sniper rifle and just starts blowing away people at the end.
This one, he has a machine gun at the end.
An M16.
Oh.
Like a rifle?
No, he has like a fucking like
a minigun?
Not a minigun, but like just like an entrenchment, like tripod machine gun.
It's been a long time since I've done the Death Wish movies. Mm-hmm. I love me some Bronson though. I got The Machinist on my next up movies.
How about The Great Escape?
It's a good one.
Yep. That dude is fucking jacked in that movie, and he was already old.
Bronson?
Yeah.
He was like the original hunko.
Isn't he like a Polish mine worker originally? Isn't that where he came from?
Let's find out. I don't know. I just remember him.
I just remember him having some extremely hard-labored, manual labor job.
He was born to a Lithuanian family, but he was from Pennsylvania.
Oh.
In the coal region. Yeah, I think he got it. It might have been a coal miner.
That dude was fucking yoked, man.
His father died and he went to work in the coal mines, yeah. He said that he earned $1 for each ton of coal that he mined.
Jeez.
And he worked in the mine until he entered military service during
How much
World
is
War
that
II.
adjusted for inflation?
He did that until he went to military service in World War II.
Oh, so probably quite a bit.
And that's why he looked so good as a soldier. Like, America's OG heartthrob, Charles Bronson.
And now, is that his actual name?
Charles Bronson?
Yeah.
Charles Dennis Buczynski.
Polish.
Buczynski. I would have kept that Butch.
Buczynski.
Yeah, I would have kept that Butch. I like it.
So, have you heard anything about this this girl who was abducted after her parents were murdered in Wisconsin?
Vaguely. Yeah, it was a couple months ago that this
It was like
first started.
3 months ago.
Yeah.
And today they just recently found the girl. But it's crazy that that shit creeps back up like months after the fact because you just assume she's fucking dead.
Yeah, they were both the parents were found murdered, or you immediately assume the worst. Just like when I first heard the story, I was like, "Oh, that's terrible." Because if they had the gall to kill both the parents and take her, it's not going to be a pretty situation. But somehow she got out of there.
Yep, she escaped. It was like a 21-year-old guy. One of the first things that a coworker had said to me was like, he was like suspicious of like how the situation came about because, you know, he has a daughter and he was like, you know, girls at that age can, especially in the online era, can do some particularly risky things, you know, because you never know who the fuck you're talking about or what the fuck you're saying to somebody. But I don't know if they have, like, in this day and age, it's very easy to find out if any of that was going on. So I figured they would have said something about it.
Yeah, Jake Thomas Peterson. I don't have the cast going.
That's fine.
That was the other thing, too.
He looks like a pedo, man.
That was the other thing I thought. Either it wasn't really well or I thought they were in cahoots. I'm just like, I'm going to kill my parents and run away.
That's what I was thinking when it almost sounded like she had done it.
Yeah. But that's why we don't jump to conclusions through our judicial system. Yeah, it was a very different story to hear, though. So yeah, she went missing. Turns up in a town not too far from where she was from originally. And this is out in the middle of nowhere. Wisconsin is not. Although Wisconsin has some big cities, close to the southern part of the state by the river. The rest of it is pretty vacant.
I fucking felt like I was going to get abducted by aliens driving out to Grafton to pick up this fucking share. Okay? Like, straight up, there's like...
fields.
There's
Aliens.
just pasture and forest, and it's just dark country roads, and it's just like, huh, this is spooky.
This is
This is a little fucking spooky.
So, this is pretty much in a middle of nowhere town, population 60. Sorry, 100.
Unincorporated.
Yeah. Yeah, so her parents are murdered. The trail goes cold. Top of the FBI list. I think we all got Amber Alerts because they have the new Amber Alert system where, I don't know if you had this go off at your work where like one phone goes off and then it slowly sweeps through the whole building. And
happened this week.
Yeah, it gives you...
It hit my phone twice.
And it gives you the little excerpt that you can't do anything about. It'll be like, girl, blonde, 15 years of age.
White sedan.
Height. Yeah, white sedan. Me.
Last seen heading northbound on I-94.
And I mean, it works. Like, it's definitely a good way to get notification because it used to just be over the radio.
Right.
And everyone's got a cell phone. So you can't escape it.
Like, sometimes when that happens, they're like, oh, nuclear holocaust. Oh, it's just Amber Alert.
But you got to keep your eyes open. I know. I think they've had a lot better success now with that rather than the radio system, which is good. But yes, someone saw her. I don't know.
Had a Dairy Queen.
That's what I thought originally, but no, she like escaped this dude's cabin. I'm a little confused. It seemed like he was keeping her with like other people around because he was like living at home or at like his parents' cabin or something.
That's weird.
There was something going on where I saw an article where it was like there were other people that he was somehow keeping unaware of her being there, but it's like for 3 months. Like,
well, there's that guy that had that fucking that eccentric black neighbor that ended up saving him, and the remix of the news like story into like a musical thing ended up overshadowing the news story in popularity. But there was a guy somewhere that had like 3 girls in his basement in like a dense
oh yeah, I remember that story
city
breaking
population, and he had them for like
years,
over a decade.
Yeah. Bunch of sickos.
Sick world with sick people. We're fucking talking about it at work too. It's like you look out into your neighborhood and just like statistically, and just thinking, which one of you motherfuckers
is a fucking freak,
right?
Which one of you is a nut job?
Which one of you has the fucking the dungeon?
But they got the guy. No resemblance to the doorbell licker, but it does remind me of somebody I went to school with.
Oh God.
Yeah. So just keep your eyes up. Keep your head on a swivel out there, especially with the amount of human trafficking stuff that you always hear about in the city and stuff going on lately. Or at least they're bringing more awareness to it.
It's like surprising. That's one of the things that Ashton Kutcher worked on in his later career.
Yeah, I know he's definitely putting money into it. I don't see him doing like a...
I think he actually owns a organization that...
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't see him doing like the To Catch a Predator thing though. Like,
he went to Congress and like talked to Congress.
Yeah, he did. But I meant like a sting operation featuring Ashton Kutcher.
Well, he's doing it so you don't need to do that. His whole thing was like it was a technology firm that basically it takes photographs and analyzes them in an attempt to identify places that people potentially were like photographed in. Like if they're in a spot where like the location is kind of secluded, through analyzing like, hundreds of thousands of photos, hoping to put together a kind of like a through photographs, just like where that photograph was actually taken.
Yeah, using it to like recognize their location and stuff. So we're gonna change gears here, but
yeah, we've been talking a little dark here.
You know the Florida guy that had that GoFundMe for the border wall?
Yeah.
He is ending it and says he's gonna build the wall himself. Yeah, I got jacked.
How many fucking millions did he get? Is that actually a picture of him?
Here was the other thing, though.
That's not a Florida man.
Here's the other thing, though, is we talked about this previously, and the amount that they were pulling in money in, it wouldn't have had the funding it needed for like another 20 years, even though it was at like a couple million, because people don't understand the difference between
a million and a billion and how much bigger that is.
I am looking for the real star here.
I'm really digging not having to fucking toggle cameras every 2 seconds. Really am.
When I created this fundraiser, I said if we did not reach our goal, we will refund donors. I'm honoring that commitment today. We will promptly refund your donation unless you approve our new plan for action. I will build the wall myself.
There's going to be enough.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Not enough people are going to go and manually go for the refund.
Right.
This guy just fucking jacked all
what
these people.
What a genius, dude.
Oh, what a fucking genius. Yeah, I love it. So what do you think he's going to do with the money?
Florida man? Strippers. Cocaine. Fucking Four Loko.
He's going to hook up with Four Loko and Andy Milonakis and the boys.
Four Locos at one time, man. I'm thinking he's going to fucking open up a strip club, man. He's going
to call it the wall.
Yeah. He's going to put up a wall on the fucking Florida border to keep the old people out.
Yeah, what if he builds a really expensive wall around his property? We built the wall.
We did it. And we came under budget, too. I'll be interested to see if there's some sort of way that they try to, like... I don't want to say fuck them out of the money, but take the money back. But honestly, at this point, if he just takes the money and just keeps it, fine. Like, fuck all you people who actually donated to this thing.
Like, you already should have all known that GoFundMe is sketchy. If not, you just learned a lesson about pre-ordering.
Pre-order the wall. It's early access wall.
It's in development.
It's an alpha testing wall.
It's in our development team.
It's fucking amazing.
God. Like, what do you, I think that article said he got 20 million.
That's a lot of dough, man.
Florida man becomes Vegas man.
I'm thinking it's going to be gone within very shortly. He's going to be one of those like lottery winners who just blows it all. The NFL player who just spends it all, goes for broke.
He joins the ranks of our fellow money fools.
Maybe you just start.
So what does he buy? A Tahoma and drugs?
You know,
he goes riff-raff on it.
You should donate it all to Ben Stein so Ben Stein can win Ben Stein's money back on the air. Bring that show back. Fucking buy Kimmel out.
Sorry.
Get him back.
Is Ben Stein even alive? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ben Stein's alive. That'd be a big deal if Ben Stein died, man. I mean, it wouldn't be that big.
Jesus Christ, he looks the fucking same.
Right?
Did he just look old?
He's one of those dudes that looks old and then just doesn't age.
He's 74.
Like that fucking wrestling
He's 74 years old.
I can't see any pictures. I cannot see in the photograph.
It says I'm connected. Oh, kitty.
Oh, kitty, you napping? I can actually see him in the frame. Don't disturb my slumber. He's literally laying on a PVC pipe instead of...
Why? They can't be comfortable.
He's a fucking idiot, that's why. He's got a fucking brain the size of an apple.
That's smaller than that.
Yeah.
Maybe a cranberry apple.
That's why they can hit their heads so hard. I swear to God, today I fucking doing some like cleaning of the room, and I fucking put like this, like a blanket over the chair over there.
Are you getting this?
2 seconds, yeah.
The cat is just bumping me.
Yeah. He wants more. He wants more pets, man. He's a slut for the pets, man. But basically, I throw a blanket over this chair that I just freshly took out. Cat gets up on it, pukes on it, fucking leaves.
That one you're in right now?
No, that one.
Bane puked on it?
I don't know which one it was. It all looks the same. I swear to God,
sick.
if I am more than a few hours late feeding them, they fucking gorge themselves until they puke up their food.
Sounds like a problem. Sounds like a health problem.
Or they just fucking eat too much of their food and then puke.
This is very distracting, having a cat just purring at me.
Just do it with one hand and then keep your focus, man.
Well, first, I think I'm going to grab another soda pop here. Have you heard anything cool in the music realm?
Other than R. Kelly getting like 1 million plays off this recent publicity, no. And that's not particularly cool. But that's amazing to me that you could see like a jump in stats over this negative press. It really does go to prove that there's
Any
no
press
such
is
thing.
good press.
And that's probably why fucking Spotify was actually like, yeah, we probably should take this shit down because...
Just try to make it harder to find.
Yeah.
I need to grab a soda pop.
You don't have a... Oh. Nah, basically, no cool shit in the music world. But I did have like... went out to Best Buy to get this keyboard. By the way, one of the best keyboards I've ever.
What'd you get, a Logitech?
Yeah.
Mechanical? Yeah, that's what I got. It's amazing.
It's a wireless one, too. It's got that fucking light speed connection. And
I love it. I love their mechanical keyboards. They're amazing. The keys come right off, easy to clean.
Only thing I don't like about them is it's 2019 and you can't remap any button. They don't have that built into their software.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I never really tried.
That's my only complaint about it. But when I went out into the public, which I don't do.
I went out to the people world.
Yeah, out in the people world. I had like one of those monthly reminders where you just see someone in their brood out in public. It's like, I should never have kids. Because when I get to the fucking keyboard aisle, there's this fucking kid. And he is just doing this most dipshit fucking thing on all the fucking like peripherals. He's just like
What, you don't like
clicking
those
all
kids?
the fucking mouse buttons and he's just like going on all of them. I'm just like,
Come on,
dude,
kid.
Come on, kid. The
Did you ever touched a computer before? How old do you think he was?
At least 10. But
When do you think they'd take type to learn classes now?
I don't know. There was no semblance of like typing position either. It was just literally like,
Just like the clicking.
I'm not even exaggerating.
Just likes the clicking.
But so I leave. I go look around for some like other stuff. I was looking at like 4K TVs, stuff like that, because they're getting cheap now. But I come back, and the father has come and gathered his brood, and like the kid is obviously trying to get him to fucking buy something. He's like, and then there's the
computer, the keyboard, and I can play with it forever.
And this fucking guy
Because all
is
kids
just
from
like,
Wisconsin sound like pickles.
It's like I'm just thinking. I was trying to think. I was like, oh my God, what brings forth that kind of child into the world? And then I look at the guy and I was like, oh,
His eyes just sunken into his head, and he looked like he's had the life drained out of him.
It's just like, come on, kid. Just shut the fuck up. Like, and then his fucking daughter, not much older than the boy, fucking just like horking down a fucking push pop. With her fucking teeth looked like jail cell bars for her tongue. And I was just like, this man is just walking around with his fucking crazy brood in this store, and he is in hell. And I should never have
his eyes are all bloodshot. His lips are the same color as the rest of his face. They're super dry.
It is like nothing compared to this one time that I had to go to the Walmart that's on your side of town on Capitol.
Oh, dear God.
Went in there.
Don't ever go in there under any circumstance.
I went in there to get a fucking set of wrenches. And again, young couple pushing their young brood around in a fucking shopping cart. They look fucking tired and fucking just dead inside. They just got the fucking 1,000-yard stare. And then their fucking kids in the cart that they're pushing around. One of them has this fucking silver glitter lipstick that was obviously the mother's. And this kid is probably like 4 or 5. And the kid has just smeared it all over the face. Yeah. And it is just, when I walk past it, it's just smacking its lips like...
Last time I went into that Walmart.
Like, oh my God.
It's Last time I went into that Walmart.
It's like some sort of fucking bottom-feeding fish just trying to suck algae off of glass. But with just fucking silver makeup, shiny and chrome all over her fucking face.
Last time I went into that Walmart, Brittany we had to pick up something. Should be a quick trip, you know. We grab a cart to load it up with like the few home goods we need, and we go to the home products aisle, and we're picking out some stuff, and the cart I'm standing with, because like Brittany's fishing through the aisle, gets crashed into. I turn over, and it's a fellow with his kids in the cart, and he's got like a Pele jacket on and like some like relatively expensive stuff, and he goes, "We're kind of homeless right now. Can you give me some spare change or something?" And I look over, and I like look around the aisle. I'm like, I'm in the middle of Walmart. Like, is this happening right now? Like, this dude's outfit is more expensive than everything I'm wearing combined. Just like, no, I do not have that. That Walmart is full of stories like that for me. Where it's just like, I don't understand what's happening right now. No, please, thank you.
I once went to a Piggly Wiggly. There's a Piggly Wiggly by there, right? Or at least there used to be.
Yeah, it's a little east.
So, me and Corey gonna have a barbecue at his old place in the Shorewood. And that was another thing. There was like some fucking crazy hostage situation going on the fucking street. We're just like at his place grilling,
like drinking beers, and
sitting in his front yard while the fucking police had the street.
Was this when he had that place off in North?
Yes.
Yeah, with Steve and stuff, and just like all kinds of shenanigans always happened over there.
So, I went into Piggly Wiggly to buy some burger patties because I didn't feel like slopping my hands in meat and making patties the good old fashioned way. So I'll get some patties to cook. So I crack them open, and like they're fucking gray. I had bought
spoiled meat.
They were like Salisbury steak, Frankenstein, bastard patties. It was like some sort of like Salisbury steak mystery meat. They were frozen, so they weren't like rancid or anything like that. But they tasted like the Salisbury steaks you'd get in fucking school, and I was like, what the fuck,
what
man?
have I done?
It's like you can't even make that mistake at a Pick and Save around here because they don't sell that shit.
I don't even think I've seen those. I've seen the brat patties. Those are actually pretty good, though.
The brat patties are fucking good.
Yeah.
But that's not mystery meat, man. It's like a brat in patty form.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying I don't think I've seen those Salisbury patties. Does it come with like a frozen sauce packet?
No, nothing like that.
Here's your Salisbury steak sauce.
It's meant to be eaten like a hamburger, but it's fucking not. What a dirty trick. But yeah, we're just sitting in their fucking front lawn having a grill, and, you know, and cops are fucking, like, guns drawn on some poor motherfuckers in a car that they're, like, interrogating. They end up, like, arresting just one of them, letting the rest of them go. And it was like, all of that for something where, like, you know, 3/4 of the people are good enough to be let go on the scene. Like, Jesus, dude.
Not enough room in the car, I guess. The other thing I remember over there was Corey used to have that moped, and then the last time we went to North Ave Fest.
Corey on a moped just sounds like all types of bad idea.
We went to the North Ave Fest, and there was just tons of people with hoverboards. Remember that? We went there. You had the one wheel, like
that year.
No, this was like last year, I think.
I remember going to the River West Days thing.
Yeah, and there was just tons of hoverboards. I don't like those things.
Yeah, those things are so dumb. It's like skiing.
It's like a Segway.
It's like just a fucking good way to have something slip out from underneath you and then fall backwards onto your head.
It's like a Segway.
So you're literally facing forward, and just like the thing is, you look weird because you're just like standing, and like it's like you're standing and you're moving forward. That is just weird.
It's like a Segway without the handlebars. You just like hover around people, and you're like, I am superior to you with my hoverboard.
I still want to do this shit, dude. I want to get a hoverboard and then a fucking one of those like pony heads on a stick thing, and then a fucking suit of Roman armor.
Just glue it onto the hoverboard.
No, just like fucking hold it, and then like have
citizen.
Yes. Halt.
Halt, plebeian.
Just ride that around for Halloween.
I could dig that. Get a cheapo suit.
Get one of those fucking rubber like horse heads. You know, the like meme
the
horse
Kentucky,
heads.
yeah, they're like Kentucky Derby horse head.
And get Bojack. Get Bojack Horseman.
I'm petting your cat so much there's just fuzz everywhere now.
So, we're an hour and a half in. Do you want to call it?
Or should we read the story about Fred Armisen working with his favorite metal bands and what working with Danzig was like?
Sure, if you just want to read a news story. You want to tell us his story, Stefan? I know Fred Armisen was like a backup drummer for Blue Man Group.
Sorry that I'm touching you, cat, but you're covering with hair. He was with what?
He was a backup drummer for Blue Man Group.
Really?
Yep.
Was that his big break?
I don't know.
He doesn't have to say anything, but he's still funny. He'd be great on SNL.
Well, they were saying like for the audition, they like basically plunked him down, and then like he basically couldn't speak for the audition. Yeah, and they were judging him off of like how much he could express with just like his eyes, because that's what they do.
Let me see you smile with your eyes.
It just seems like a weird thing to go. It's like, oh, me and the missus, we going to see Blue Man Group tonight.
I don't know if I've actually really talked to anyone that's done the Blue Man Group thing. I know if people have done Stomp and stuff.
That's another weird. Is that still going?
Well, your tongue is like sandpaper, cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stomp's still going. They just get like new people in there.
It's like a t-shirt factory now, like every other metal band in the fucking world. Even though Stomp's not a metal band, but
yeah, they just change out members. It's like a Broadway thing.
I mean, honestly, in that kind of regard, why did they even tell the world that guy from Gwar died? Just put another guy in the fucking suit. Nobody would ever know. Gwar really can be this fucking like eons old band because The members are never seen.
Yeah, I think Balzac's on the way out, though. The rhythm guitarist.
You mean like of the band or just not doing too good?
Both.
Oh.
I think I remember reading a story about that.
Are they older or something?
Oh, yeah. They've been going for a while.
I know Guar has been, but still, like...
The members may not have been, or could have been replaced, is what you're trying to say.
I'm past that point. But, like, Metallica, they're old, but they're not, like, decrepit old.
Yeah, but Guar is the kind of thing where you do a lot of drugs. And that was something that came out.
Touché.
That is something that came out about Dave Brockie like instantly when he died. Everyone was like, well, I mean, he was doing an ass load of drugs. Like, he was addicted to a lot of stuff. I was like, I guess that's not surprising. They wear
lots of
mascot suits and jump around and make these ridiculous
a lot of drugs.
and make these ridiculous things. Yeah, I guess that would involve drugs.
I mean, that's probably where that came from. You know, some sort of fifth dimension acid trip that somebody was on.
Yeah. Well, I remember reading that they wanted to go into like movie props, but they just weren't good enough.
For those of you who don't know, Guar is a metal band that is just more gimmick than it was music. But they're basically these fucking just like crazy barbarians from space in like these massive costumes with like crazy set pieces and like penises that squirt Thousand Island dressing on the crowd. They're basically like heavy metal Gallagher.
Yeah, that's an apt description.
Yeah.
I think a couple presidents have been eaten by a T-Rex on their performances. And
this fucking kid in high school came to school with his skin like half dyed and like his fucking like his skin was just like red and splotchy in spots. You're like, the fuck happened to you, man? He's like, oh, I went to Guara last night. And we're just like,
oh yeah, because they used to do the Halloween every year here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That seems like a really cool thing to do. I had an opportunity to go see Guar one year, and it was the year that the house fire happened. So it wasn't Halloween. But then I thought about it, and I was like, I just bought like a few sets of clothes because I didn't have any of my clothes. And I was like, I'm not about to go ruin one of the 5 sets of clothes I have right now. It's like not a good idea.
Yeah, they used to do Halloween here every year. I never went. I always said to myself, no, it's next year. And then one year I was like, there's always next year. And then Dave Brockie died. And I was like, well, I guess there's a next year.
Yeah.
Because although you could, in theory, they have replaced him. You could replace many members of the band. He was the lead singer, and he definitely had a different style. Then I think they have a woman singer now.
Speaking of that, and like this also goes along with them thawing out the 27 Club to sell 27 pounds of macaroni and cheese. What do you think of? I don't know if you've seen this. The Punisher advertisement for season 2 on Netflix is coming out, and they're using some old Alice in Chains songs to like promote it. And I just always thought
like
that was
stuff off Rooster, or
yeah, it's like Lane Staley shit. And for those of you who don't know, Lane Staley died of a heroin overdose.
Doesn't really fit the whole Punisher thing.
But I'm not even thinking about that like tonally. I just think it's like shitty when they take dead artists and then like use their shit to
Unless
like,
you're Frank Zappa and
hawk
wanted
your
to
crap.
Wait, was it Frank Zappa? Somebody wanted to be turned into a hologram. I was reading an article that they got
Tupac?
They got themselves filmed and they were like, I want to be a hologram performer after I die. It was like a way older artist.
Peter Cushing for Grand Moff Tarkin. I know it's not him, but they're actually working on a with Holocaust survivors to make holograms of them, to develop this thing where you can sit down and have a virtual conversation with them for after they pass, so that like experience doesn't die with them. Which I thought was like a really cool application for the technology, but they're working on this thing where you can sit down and like have a conversation with a virtual representation of the person.
That's interesting, but like, I don't like, it's just weird. It's like a weird concept to be bringing somebody back that.
I think in that aspect, like, it's a weird thing to do it in a movie like they did with, like, Grand Moff Tarkin.
And, like, Tupac and stuff.
But this isn't, like, an actor thing. This is, like, them sampling the actual person, and they're, like, willing to do this.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool for something like
from
the
a historical
Holocaust.
Perspective.
For something that will just be lost to time. It's kind of like that thing where that they were doing where they're going and taking, like, 3D scans of... historical landmarks before ISIS would roll through and just fucking destroy the shit. So they'd go in and like create like 3D representations of them like through scanning so people could like actually look at them after they were destroyed.
Yeah, what a shame that a lot of that stuff got destroyed. I don't know, like if you're a musician and you don't want to be hologrammed, you gotta get that in your contract, I guess.
That's the thing, though. Like, who owns? How long did it take for Paul McCartney to buy the Beatles catalog and own that? Like most of his fucking life. And it also comes. There's like some like theories to like foul play about like some of those young artists who are like super popular and just like kick the bucket. It's like where they knocked off so somebody could just own
their rights.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw an interesting thing about it's a different vein than holograms, but there was like some photographer that Arch Enemy went after for taking pictures.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. That's some like bullshit. And like
so he takes some pictures,
which is his property.
It's his job too. Yeah, he's a photographer, and then Arch Enemy basically took the pictures and used them without paying him.
It wasn't Arch Enemy. It was a clothing. It was a clothing brand that has a deal with the lead singer of Arch Enemy, and he was basically like, "This is not okay because you guys are making money off of my work, and I'm not getting anything, like not even my standard rate."
Yeah,
which is totally reasonable. And he was even like, "You just donate to this charity for, don't even give it to me." And they basically came back and like blacklisted him from
the venues they play and stuff.
Yep. Which is pretty shitty. And then it just like kind of blew up in their fucking face and backfired. And it doesn't really fucking surprise me. I mean, Arch Enemy is kind of like a cookie cutter, very bland metal band.
Yeah, whatever they once were, it is now they are now using a strong female lead to sell their products to whatever. Like they're not breaking any musical boundaries anymore. Sorry, Jeff Loomis. I think he's still in the band.
Oh yeah, that kind of sucks.
So, yeah, sorry, Jeff.
But like, I don't know, like Loomis and stuff like that. That was always, like Iced Earth, like that shit was always kind of just like.
Well, Nevermore was kind of cool.
That stuff was always just kind of lame to me.
Nevermore was kind of cool.
But it's like almost like what Jared Threatin wanted his image to be, that kind of metal.
Yeah.
It's definitely on the very lame side of it.
Yeah, for some people. Yeah. I'm definitely not an Arch Enemy fan, but
I used to be back in like the Headbangers Ball 2.
That first album they had was pretty good. But they had a very different lineup. They had a male fronted singer, I forgot his name, and I think they had both the Loomises, right? Doesn't he have a brother that was in there too? It was a long time ago.
They had that song "We Will Rise," and like looking back at it, I almost feel like it kind of just sounded like she was gargling spit in the back of her throat.
Yeah, she wasn't the greatest, but she was for us at that young age, it was definitely like, wow, this is like different, just because she's in our genre, seemingly the first person that was doing it. She wasn't, but
I think it's still like crazy. There's like a lot of girls in metal now. A lot of them are like doing cool shit. There's definitely some in there that are just getting their fame because, well, you're a girl and you're doing metal.
Yeah, like that one that literally uses sex to sell. I forgot what the band's called, but they just wear like nothing. There's 2 female vocalists. I forgot what the hell the band's called.
But then there's also people, like, it's like you can't even say that, and some like people just shit on you, and it's like, well, this is just, it's like, I don't care about your gender. I just care about if I like it or not.
Yeah.
I'm still going to not like it.
I forgot what that band was called, but they definitely use sex to sell. They have 2 female fronted, 2 female singers.
Let's hire a girl for our Twitch stream and just have a rat cam so we can rack up the views. All right. I think it's time to call this one. So, yeah, we may or may not have a guest next week. It's yet to be seen, but yeah, hopefully this change in setting will come along a little further. There's still some more shit set up. I'm dying.
Maybe we'll have even more kitties. I feel like fucking Dr. Evil over here, just like, you're on your own, Doug. I'm petting a cat.
All right. It is time to go away. Good night.